Hello students and welcome to SmartKidz tutorials. In this video, we will be solving Go Headmasters Association Joint Preparatory Examination for SSC, the prelim paper in science, which have recently come for 70 marks, 3 hours. Okay. These are the instructions. I'm not going through the instructions, so you can go through the instruction. If you get the paper, I can put it up for you as well on the WhatsApp channel. The link to that will be you can find in the description box below. Straight away, we'll begin with the questions. So the first question, it says select the correct alternative given below each statement and complete the statement. The reaction in which two compounds exchange their ions to form two compounds is dash. The answer is a double displacement reaction. So this would be your correct answer. An element X on exposure to moist air turns reddish brown and a new compound Y is formed. So whenever there is reddish brown, remember there has to be ion. Okay, and if it says moist air, that means there is oxygen involved. Okay, so in this case, it says an element X on exposure to moist air turns reddish brown and a new compound is formed. The substances X and Y are this. These are the choices. So we can rule out copper, we can rule out aluminium, and we can rule out silver. So the one which remains should remain is this one, X equal to iron and Y equal to Fe2O3. So iron oxide. Okay. Third one, which among the following is an olfactory indicator? Okay. So in our textbook, there's only vanilla given. So that's a very easy choice. The other three are not given. So vanilla is our correct answer. Next, question number 4. An aqueous solution turns red litmus solution blue. Excess addition of which of the following solution would reverse the change? Remember, when the red litmus paper turns blue, that means it is alkaline or basic. Now, if you reverse this process, that means the blue litmus paper should turn red. That means it should turn acidic. For that to happen, the solution in which you're dipping the litmus paper should be acidic in nature. So baking powder is basic. Okay. Then you have ammonium hydroxide, strong base. Okay. And you have lime water and you have hydrochloric acid. Now here the name, the acid only is given over here. So very clearly hydrochloric acid. We don't have to bother about lime water. So correct answer is hydrochloric acid. Question number 5. Food cans are coated with tin and not with zinc because, and here is zinc is costlier than tin, zinc has a higher melting point than tin, zinc is more reactive than tin, zinc is less reactive than tin. Whenever a choice comes, in case if you have kind of not studied and you're kind of doing some guesswork, you have to always see if there are two choices which are very similar but like one the reverse of the other, one the opposite of the other. This is the one. So that means our answer should be something between here rather than from here. These two are weak. Okay, costlier or zinc has a higher melting point. So something got to do with the reactivity series. So either that zinc is more reactive than tin, zinc is more less reactive than tin. If you do not know the reactivity series, all I can say is you got a 50-50 chance here of scoring the marks. Any one from here. But at least from, if you look over here, you've got a 25% chance of scoring that 1 mark. But if you eliminate these two, just using your common sense, then you can have a look that you can get a 50-50 chance. Either you get the right answer or you get the wrong answer in this case. Now, for the fifth answer, it is that zinc is more reactive than tin. Okay. So, it all depends on the reactivity series. So, I would ask you to go to the reactivity series, learn how to study the reactivity series. If you want, I can put up a link of the video which I have done on the reactivity series, how to memorize the reactivity series. I'll put a link on there on the WhatsApp channel, so you can have a look at that as well. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Okay, the next question says when dilute hydrochloric acid is added to a metal, hydrogen gas is evolved. The metal should be this. To give this type of, when All these four are metals. Okay. Now, a metal should react. Okay, and how reactive it is depends on where it is in the reactivity series. Again, this is also reactivity. If you will look at the reactivity series, something like gold, then you have silver, and are like less reactive. They are noble metals. Now, the choice would be between zinc and copper. Okay, again, 50-50%. This is how you narrow down the choices. Zinc is higher up. So that means the correct answer should be zinc. Okay, because it's high in the reactivity series. So when zinc reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, hydrogen gases evolve. So correct answer is zinc. Here you go. Question number 7. Functional group in alcohol is this thing. Now you have to learn the functional groups of aldehydes, of carboxylic acids, of of ketones. Okay, and then you will know that OH is for alcohol. So correct choice is OH. Now next case is question number 8. In a plant, the rate of transpiration on a hot, dry, windy day will be what? Okay. We in class 9, especially, we have learnt about how when it is very hot and when it is very windy, the clothes dry faster. And we know that why does that happen? We've learned that as well, because the molecules of water get excited and their kinetic energy increases, as a result of which from a liquid phase they move into a gaseous phase. So the same principle along the same lines, okay, is applied to transpiration on a hot and dry windy day. In that case, what will happen? The rate of transpiration, right? Transpiration means what? Losing of water. Okay. So transpiration should increase. It will not remain the same. It will not stop completely, or it will not decrease. Or in during rains, it will decrease. Okay, because there's lot of moisture in the air. Okay, but in case of transpiration on hot, dry, and windy day, yes, it will increase. Done. Question number 9. Central nervous system, CNS, okay, comprises of what? That should be the brain and spinal cord. Okay, you should know what does the CNS comprise of, what does the PNS, that is peripheral nervous system, comprise of. Okay, there you go, brain and spinal cord. Question number 10. If the pituitary gland does not function properly in the children, they may experience, choices given are, loss of appetite, have high blood sugar levels, has stunted growth, and stop reflex action. Okay. So if you have some idea about the others, you will know what is the correct answer. Okay, leaving it on. Loss of appetite has got nothing to do with pituitary gland. Blood sugar levels got to do with pancreas. Okay, release of insulin. And reflex action has got to do with your nervous system. Okay, not with a hormone. So in this case, the correct answer would be stunted growth. Okay, that's the answer. Question number 11. When adrenal gland releases adrenaline in response to stress, choices given are: heart rate slows down, heart rate and blood pressure increase, breathing rate decreases, blood glucose level decreases. When does an adrenal gland function? See, if you, let's say you are in a class, okay, and you have, let's say, uh, done something wrong, and you know that you are going to be caught, and the teacher is going to take the name, or maybe the headmaster is going to take your name. Okay, what happens to you? Your heart starts beating faster, you start becoming numb, hands particularly become cold. Okay, some even start sweating. Okay, all this is carried out by the adrenal gland. Okay, this becomes highly activated, which releases adrenaline, and in response to that stress, what happens? Heart rate, blood pressure increase. Of course, you would not experience blood pressure at that age. At least most of you would not. But heart rate, yes, you would have experienced that. Heart beating faster. Question number 12. If the DNA content in a sperm cell is N, then the DNA content in the fertilized zygote is dash. Sperm is a sex cell, just like egg is a sex cell. But sperm contains 50% of the DNA and egg contains 50% of the DNA. Okay, 50% from the father is brought by the sperm, and 50% of the DNA from the mother is brought in the egg. When these two unite, they form a zygote, and that zygote has got what we call as a diploid content. That means 50% DNA from father, 50% DNA from mother. And if it says that sperm cell, the DNA content in that is n, so n plus n of the father added to n of the mother will give you what? 2n. So n plus n give us 2n. So the zygote will have 2n content of the DNA. That is our correct answer. Question number 13. The power of a concave lens of focal length 2 meters is what? So for that, you should know the formula of power. Okay. P is equal to 1 upon focal length or reciprocal of the focal length. And focal length is given to us as 2. So here is the working carried out. P is equal to 1 upon F, which is equal to half. And so the correct answer is 0.5 D. So A is our correct choice. If the magnification of an image formed by a spherical mirror is +2, then the image is what? It says the magnification of an image formed by a spherical mirror is +2. And the choices given to us as, is it real and inverted? Is it virtual and inverted? Real and erect? Virtual and erect. Okay. Before we decide on what it is, let's just understand what these choices are. If you have been through this chapter on light, okay, then you see you only have real and inverted and virtual and erect. So which means you should rule out virtual and inverted and real and erect. That leaves you with two choices over here. Now, you have real and inverted and you have virtual and erect. It could be any one of them. Now the magnification of an image, it says, is +2. How do we get magnification? We get magnification when we take height of the image upon the height of the object, or if we take the distance of the image from the mirror to the distance of the image, distance of the object, from the mirror. So that is how we have the formula. That is m is equal to h dash upon h, or m is equal to minus v upon u. Now in this case, it is positive. So that means our correct answer should be virtual and erect. Why virtual and erect? When will you get +2? Let's take. So our correct answer is this, but I'll just show you. Okay. M is equal to h dash upon h. Now h dash is what? Height of the image. H is what? Height of the object. Now when will our magnification become positive? When both are positive, right? And when is both positive? Now this is if you take your principal axis, and principal axis is like your x-axis. Anything above is positive of that. Anything below is negative. So when we show, our objects are always A, B, erect, upright. But for real and inverted images, our images that are formed are inverted like this. Show from B dash to A dash. But so that should give us negative. So that means positive upon negative would have given us negative. But it's saying it's positive too. For that to happen, our image that is formed should be also erect. That means also should be positive. So when does that happen? In case of virtual and erect. Okay, in case of real and inverted, that would have not happened. In case of virtual and erect, this is what happens. So that means the correct answer is virtual and erect for question number 14. Coming to question number 15, it's before that it says attempt the following. So we have question and answer starting for 1 mark each. All of these were for 1 mark each till 14 MCQ type questions. Question number 15, state the commercial unit of electric energy. So the commercial unit is kilowatt hour, kWh. What happens to the magnetic field if the number of turns in a coil is doubled but the current remains the same? So simple thing, if you increase the number of turns in a coil, then the magnetic field should also double, because the magnetic field is due to the coil. The more coil turns, more is the electric field. Magnetic field as a result of that. So it doesn't matter, you can keep the current constant. Even if you keep the current constant, no problem. But if you increase the number of turns in a coil, then the magnetic field should also increase proportionately. Okay. So that is what over here is a magnetic field doubles. So he said the reason for that is each turn in a coil creates a magnetic field. Doubling turns in a coil is directly proportional to doubling of magnetic field. So if you increase the number of turns in a coil, that means you increase the magnetic field as well. Okay, because the magnetic field is generated because of this coil. More number of coils, more number of turns, more is the magnetic field. Proportionately, it will increase. So it's like saying if A is equal to 3, then B is also equal to 3. If you raise A to 10, then B will also increase to 10. That is what it means. Okay. Next. Question number 70. Before they observe the correlation in the first pair and complete the second pair. Question number 17 says biodegradable paper, non-biodegradable, very easy, something that doesn't get degraded, plastic. There are other examples also. Plastic would be the most common one. You need to just give one of them. Okay. So correct answer is plastic. Yeah. Next one. Artificial ecosystem is an aquarium, something that is created by man. Natural ecosystem, so many other. As you have ponds, rivers, lakes, wells, all these are natural ecosystems. Okay. You can in the forest also you can say. One mark each. Do as directed. You have Fe2O3 plus aluminium that reacts to give you Al2O3 plus iron plus heat. We need to balance the above reaction. So the first thing I've done, I have not balanced it. So I thought I'll balance it here itself to show you how it is done. All I have done is I have separated out how many atoms of iron, oxygen, aluminium we have on the reactant side, and how many of the same elements we have got on the product side. So we got 2 atoms of iron on the reactant side, but only 1 atom on the product side of iron. 3 atoms of oxygen on the reactant side and 3 atoms of oxygen on the product side as well. Then we have 1 atom of aluminium on the reactant side, but 2 atoms of aluminium on the product side. So we need to balance it over here. So what we'll do is we'll balance iron first. So there is 2 over here, we need 2. So for that we multiply this by 2 and we will get the new one as 2. Okay. So to do that, it has to reflect even in our equation over here. So since we have put multiplied by 2, so I'll put a 2 over here. Okay. Now iron is balanced. Oxygen is already balanced. That means we need to balance aluminium. There's 2 on the product side and there's 1 on the reactant side. So I'm going to multiply this by 2 and I'll get 2. It makes it balanced. Again, this calculation should reflect in the equation. So multiply 2 with this 1 atom of aluminium. Same thing should reflect here 2. And now we have a balanced equation. Okay, you can see everything is balanced. 2 atoms of iron, 2 atoms of iron. 3 atoms of oxygen, 3 atoms of oxygen. 2 atoms of aluminium, 2 atoms of aluminium. That is heat. So ignore that. Going to the next question. This is name the type of reaction given above. Okay. Now there are 2 things you can say about this because it's not very clear what are they meaning by type of reaction based on what is there in your textbook and what you have studied. two things we can think of it. And the two things are, you can call it as a Thermite reaction, you can call it as a displacement reaction as well. Thermite reaction is given, okay, but it's even a type of a displacement reaction wherein you see that in this case aluminium displaces iron. The aluminum is high in the reactivity series, so aluminium displaces your iron and iron separates out into the solution. Okay, so if either one should fetch you the marks. Next one, the hardest substance in our body is tooth enamel. Name the chemical compound present in the tooth enamel. Okay, so the correct answer would be calcium phosphate. Okay, as per what is there in your textbook, calcium phosphate would be the correct answer. Next question is, give two examples of synthetic indicators to test acids and bases. And the correct answer would be phenolphthalein and methyl orange, methyl red. These are some given in your textbook. Okay. Question number 23. Answer the following questions. What is the reaction between an acid and a base to form salt and water called? So this is a neutralization reaction. In a neutralization reaction, acid reacts with base to give you salt and water. Question number 24. Three solutions X, Y and Z have a pH of 4, 13 and 6 respectively. Name the solution that has the highest concentration of hydrogen plus ions. Which of this solution is basic? So we'll address this one first. Which of this is a basic solution? 7. Anything above 7 is basic. Anything below 7 is acidic. 7 is neutral. So which are the ones above? So there's only one, which is 13. So this 13, that is solution Y, is basic. Name the solution that has the highest concentration of hydrogen plus ions. Okay. Now, more number of hydrogen plus ions in a solution shows you that the solution is acidic. More number of hydroxyl ions, that is OH minus ions, the solution tells you how basic that particular solution is. So here it is looking for highest concentration of H plus ion. More H plus ion concentration in a solution, more acidic it is. So as per this, there are two acidic solutions, 4 and X and Z, having a pH of 4 and 6. And the less the pH, more acidic it is. So which means pH, the one having a pH of 4, that is solution X, okay, will be having the highest concentration of hydrogen plus ions. Here you go, solution X, pH 4, solution Y, pH 13. Write the equation for the reaction of iron and steam. Okay, write the equation for the reaction of iron with steam. So here I've written iron, steam or water vapor would be water, giving you Fe3O4 plus H, hydrogen atom. This is equation is there in the textbook. Now to balance it out, because it's, yeah, we need to balance this out. So I've just written it down. So to balance this out, I've written down how many atoms are there of iron are there on the reactant side, how many are there on the product side. Same goes for hydrogen and oxygen. So we've got one atom of iron on the reactant side, 3 atoms of iron on the product side, 2 atoms of hydrogen on the reactant side, 2 on product side. So the hydrogen atoms are balanced. Oxygen atom, only 1 atom of oxygen on the reactant side, but 4 atoms of oxygen on the product side. Okay, so we need to balance this thing. So first thing that I would like to do is balance the iron out. So multiply this by 3, which means I'll have to put 3 over here. Okay, so iron gets balanced on both sides. Hydrogen is already balanced, okay, over there. So hydrogen is over here is 2, and here also there's 2, but oxygen is not balanced. Okay, so we'll have to balance oxygen. So there's 4 on the reactant side, but there's only 1 over here. So I'll have to multiply this by 4 to get this will be 3. This will become 4. So for that I'll have to put a 4 over here. But once I put a 4 over here, fine, oxygen gets balanced. But what happens to hydrogen? Now we have 8 atoms of hydrogen on the reactant side. So I'll have to change this from 2 to 8. Okay, on the hydrogen, on the reactant side. So now to balance, only hydrogen is not balanced. We need 8 on this side. So if we need 8 on this side, we need to multiply this by 4. If we multiply this by 4, we will get 8. Now it balanced. So which means we'll have to put a 4 over here in front of H2. And now it is balanced. Okay. So 3Fe plus 4H2O gives us Fe3O4 plus 4H2. Okay. That's done. Question number 26. It says give 1 point of difference between calcination and roasting. Given 2 points over here, you can write any one of them. Calcination is used for carbonate ores, whereas roasting is used for sulfide ores. Calcination, what happens? You can write heating carbonate ores in limited supply of air, whereas in roasting, heating sulfide ores strongly in the presence of excess air. Any 1 point is accepted for 1 mark. Next question, it says many carbon compounds exhibit a homologous series. Question number 27, why is melting and boiling points of C5H10 higher than C4H8? So the difference between these two is one extra carbon compound, carbon atom, which is linked to 2 other hydrogen atoms. So there's 1 carbon atom extra in this, and there are 2 hydrogen atoms extra of hydrogen compared to this particular compound. So C4 is a 4 carbon compound, C5 is a 5 carbon compound. So let us see what is the answer. Okay, so this is question number 27. So what I have done is, you don't have to show this much, you just need to write your answer. But I have to explain to you what exactly happens. I have drawn the structural formulas of both of them. So this is C5H10. See, 5 carbon compounds, they are surrounded by 10 atoms of hydrogen. In this case, there are 4 carbon atoms and they are surrounded by 8 hydrogen atoms. Let's look at the explanation. It says C5H10 has a greater molecular mass than C4H. Each atom has got a molecular mass. If you add of them, you get the total molecular mass of that particular compound. So this will have one particular molecular mass. This will have a total molecular mass which is different from this. Because there is a carbon compound and there are 2 hydrogen atoms extra compared to C4H8, so that means the molecular mass of C5H10 has to be greater than C4H8. That is what it's saying. Increase in molecular mass contributes to higher melting point and boiling point due to increase in energy required to break the attractive forces or bonds between the molecule. Okay. Our question was, why is the melting point and boiling point of C5H10 higher than this? So this addresses that. It says that C5H10 has a higher molecular mass than C4H10. The reason why C5H10 has got higher molecular mass than C4H8 is because it's got an extra carbon atom plus like somewhere in between, and it's got 2 hydrogen atoms additional. So the molecular mass increase. Now in this case, molecular mass increasing, fine. It says increase in molecular mass is associated with increase in boiling point and melting point. But one thing you need to understand is that why the increase? Because heat is required to break each of these bonds. See, you want to break this bond, you want to break this bond, this bond, this bond, this bond, this bond, this bond. So if you have a look over here, these have got extra bonds compared to this, because it has got an extra carbon atom and two extra hydrogen atoms. So which means greater heat is required to this thing break over there. Okay, so same way over here. So if you, let's say, if you have a small, if you have water in a small vessel, okay, it doesn't take a lot of time to heat it. But if you have water in a big bucket, it takes a lot of time to heat it. Okay, so same thing goes over here. More the mass, more the boiling point. That means the time required for the liquid to boil, and more the melting point. That means more heat is required to melt that particular thing. So more energy is required to break those bonds between. It's all, whether you are in liquids, you have learnt even in smaller classes, 8th, 9th, 10th, that 8th and 9th, that whether it is liquid, whether it is solid, or whether it is gaseous, they have attractive forces between them. There are bonds being formed. So the stronger the bond, the more energy is required to break. That results in higher melting point and boiling. So that is the answer. Question number 28. State any two characteristics of homologous series. So you should know what are homologous series. So you can easily write them. So I've written down just two of them. So members of homologous series have similar chemical properties. They have same general formula. You can write down the general formula CH2. Okay. There are 3-4 of them. You can list down any two of them. So I've listed down only two over here. Question number 29. It says papaya tree in Lalita's kitchen garden bore flowers that never produced fruits. Okay. What type of flower does a papaya tree produce? Okay, a papaya tree produces a unisexual flowers, either male or female. So if you have papaya plants in your garden, in your backyard, in your plot, have a look. Sometimes they will flower a lot, but that tree which flowers does not give any fruits, and you will wonder, like, maybe like it's a bad variety. You will think that it bore so many fruits but no fruits at all. Okay, that's not the case. That's a male plant. Okay, so because it was a male plant, it could give only flowers. Okay, papaya plants are unisexual. That means they either have female flowers or male flowers. Most of the ones that we are used to looking, papayas plants, are bearing female flowers. The ones which bear female flowers are the ones that give you fruits. But the ones that, and you will notice if you have it in your garden, the ones having female flowers, papaya, they will not be very attractive in color. They will be a little dull color. Whereas the ones which are giving you male flowers, okay, those will be bright, attractive color, white, usually white, bright it will be, okay, compared to the female flowers. Okay, but they will not bear you any fruits. They will just flowers will come and they will fall off, and again the cycle will begin. But it will not give you it will not give you bear any fruits. Definitely no papayas for it. So that is exactly what. So this is the type of tree that we see in Lalita's kitchen garden. Why did the papaya tree not produce fruits? I told you. So let's look at the answer. So unisexual flowers, as I told you, this tree produces unisexual, or you can say male flowers. That is why basically not you can say male flowers. When we touch a hot body, we remove our hand instantaneously. This is referring to the reflex action. What is this spontaneous response called? So that's a reflex action. Which part of the nervous system gives an impulse to the motor neurons to remove the hand? And that is your spinal cord. Okay. Before our brain can react, our spinal cord takes action. Attempt the following. State two different methods of asexual reproduction. There are lots of methods. Okay, so there's layering, budding, fragmentation, grafting, or you can write any two of them. Distinguish between self-pollination and cross-pollination. Okay, self-pollination, cross-pollination, very easy. Transfer of pollen from the anther to the stigma.
either from one flower to another flower, same flower, this different flower. So you have a look over here. Pollen grains are transferred from anther to stigma of the same flower, or in case of self-pollination, pollen grains are transferred from anther of one flower to stigma of another flower in case of cross-pollination. And I told you about different types of asexual reproduction. Question number 35. The trait acquired during the lifetime of an individual cannot be inherited. Okay, it's actually the trait, not the trade. Okay, the traits are characteristics. Like for example, you learning to play the guitar. Because you know to learn the play the guitar, your son or daughter will not learn to play the guitar. They have to be taught. So these are certain characteristics, attributes that we acquire during our lifetime. That doesn't mean it is passed on to the next generation. Okay, but that doesn't happen. So the next question is, what determines? So the answer to that is, see, traits that are expressed in the next generation, irrespective of the presence of the other trait. Okay, that is what happens. So these are dominant traits. Okay, what are dominant traits? So you have dominant and you have recessive traits. So you can say traits that are expressed in the next generation, irrespective of the presence of the other traits. So dominant ones are one which are expressed. The ones which are not expressed, we don't see them. Expressed means physical expression. Like, okay, like let's say for example, let's say your father has got brown eyes, okay, and your mother has got let's say green eyes, okay, but you have brown eyes, but your sister or brother has got green eyes. So in that case, in your case, the dominant variety would be brown, and in your sister's case, the dominant variety would be green. Okay, so that is what the one which is expressed is referred to as a dominant trait. That doesn't mean you don't have genes for the other trait. You do, but the one which is expressed is called as a dominant trait. Now next it says, what determines the sex of a child in human beings? We all know it is the father, because the father gives the X chromosome. Father gives the X. Father can give either X or Y chromosome. Okay, whereas mother can give only X chromosome. Okay, so mother's chromosomes, sex chromosome, do not determine the sex of the child, whether it will be a male or a female. It is the father. What the father contributes, that is what determines whether the offspring is going to be male or female. So if the father contributes X, that X will join with the X from mother, and the resultant offspring will be a female. But if the father contributes Y to X, then it will be a boy. So something like this. So father gives X or Y, either one, whereas mother will give only X. So if X join with X, we've got XX. If Y joins with X, we get XY. XX is a female and XY is a male. Okay, so the father is responsible for this. Answer the following question. Question number 37. What is heredity? Heredity is the transfer of traits and characteristics from one generation to the other. That is the answer. Question number 38. Manisha does not socialize easily, although both her parents are very social people. Why do the lifetime experiences of an individual not pass to its progeny? The answer is, the lifetime experiences of an individual do not accumulate or make an imprint on the genes of the progeny. Hence, it cannot be passed on. In simple words, that's what I told you. If you learn to play guitar, does not mean that your son or a daughter in the future will learn to play the guitar. If you learn to swim, it does not mean that your son or daughter will learn to swim. Those are certain attributes or characteristics that you acquire during a lifetime, but they do not, you can say, are not inherited. They are not passed on from one generation to another. Those are certain things is our choice to do, whether to do a particular thing or not. Okay. Question number 39 is with respect to this figure. Okay. It's asking us to identify the part labeled A and write its function. The part labeled A is pupil, and it regulates and controls the amount of light entering the eye. Question number 40. When is a person said to be myopic? A person is said to be myopic if he can see nearby objects distinctly or clearly, but cannot see distant objects clearly. Question number 41. Now there is a choice between over here. You can answer this set, question number 41, these two or these two. So I'll answer both over here, and whatever choices are there, we will answer all of them. So you can check what you have answered. Two identical resistors, each of 10 ohms, are connected in parallel to a battery of 12 volt. So it's in parallel. It has got resistors which are 10 ohms each, and the potential difference is saying 12 volt. Calculate the effective resistance of two resistors. Calculate the power consumed by the combination of the two resistances. First we'll calculate the resistance. It is in parallel. So this is the formula for effective resistance, 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. Each of them is of 10 ohms. So we get the LCM, 1 plus 1, 2 upon 10, 1 upon 5. So that means effective resistance is 5 ohms. We are also asked to find the power. So power formula is P is equal to V into R. How do you remember the formula for Ohm's law or for power? If for Ohm's law, remember this name Vir, and for power, remember VIP. So this is a VIP. So this way. So this is the power formula. Now P is equal to V into I, but I can be written equal to V upon R. How? Because V is equal to I. So that is Vir, Ohm's law. Okay, V is equal to I into R. You keep I where it is and take R on the other side, it will become V upon R. I equal to V upon R. So I equal to V upon R. I have just extended. So you get V square upon R. You can directly write this also and start if you remember it. I do it this way. V square upon R. So V is given, that potential difference is given 12. So 12 square, and resistance is 5 ohms we have calculated. So this comes to 28.8 watts. Unit of power is watts. Okay. Next, the other choice. Two identical resistors of 20 ohms, now it is 20 ohms, are connected in a series to a battery of 12 volts. Calculate the effective resistance of two resistors. Calculate the power consumed by the combination of two. Almost the same question, but the resistances are different and the voltage is also the same. Just the difference in the resistances. Okay, but there's another difference. It is connected in series. Not this was in parallel. So series very easy. R1 plus R2, that gives us 40 ohms effective resistance, and then the same thing for power calculation. It gives us 3.6 watts. Question number 43. Here also there is choice 43 and 44 between this set and this set. So it says attempt the following questions. What is electromagnetic induction, and mention two causes of electrical short circuit. So electromagnetic induction. It is a process in which a changing magnetic field in one conductor induces a current in another conductor. And reasons for short circuit: defective or damaged wiring, live and neutral wire coming in direct contact. Can give more if you know. Next set, name and state the rule to determine the direction of current induced in a coil due to its rotation in a magnetic field. And on what factors does the strength of the magnetic field produced by a current carrying solenoid depend? Let's look at both these answers. So first one is Fleming's right hand rule. And what you need to tell is you need to stretch the thumb, index finger and middle finger of right hand such that they are perpendicular to each other. Something like this. Okay. Here. They are mutually perpendicular to each other. You can see here. Okay. Or like this. Mutually perpendicular. Thumb represents the direction of conductor's motion. Index finger represents the direction of the magnetic field, and middle finger represents the direction of the induced current. And the next one, what does the solenoid, strength of the magnetic field produced by a current carrying solenoid depend on? Depends on the number of turns of copper wire, strength of current, nature of core material. Okay. Next, question number 45. Construct a food chain with the help of organisms given below. So obviously the primary producer is got to be the plants. Okay. Then consumers begin. First would be the grasshoppers. Then grasshoppers are eaten by frog. Frogs are eaten by snakes. Plants to grasshopper, grasshopper to frog, and frog to snake. Next. So this is also a set of questions, forgot to tell you, 45 and 46. The first set we are solving. 46 question, first set. Why is it not possible to have a 6-step food chain? Okay. Okay. Answer to that is, since only 10% of the energy at a trophic level is available at each successive level, thus a food chain cannot support more than 6 steps, as energy available to the top level will not be sufficient to sustain life. So at every step it loses 10%. If it keeps losing 10%, then how much will the one at the bottom get? After all, we need energy to survive, right? So the one at the top will get maximum energy, but what about the ones right at the bottom of that? Will hardly get any energy. So that is why adding more trophic levels will not work out at all. Next, the other choice is observe the following food chain and answer the questions below. Name the organism that receives minimum energy and the organism that receives maximum energy. Okay. This is an order. Now, the one that receives the maximum energy will be green plant because it's producing its own food, so maximum energy. Minimum energy would be tiger. Okay, what will happen if we kill all the organisms in one trophic level? Well, then the food chain will stop. It will get affected. Okay, if anyone, this has to flow this way. If it doesn't, if somebody in between is eliminated, okay, then one population will grow, another population will decline. That is what will happen. So here you go, maximum energy green plant, minimum energy tiger. Food chain would end and the ecological balance will be affected. That's the answer. Carbon has a unique ability to form bonds with other carbon atoms. Question number 47. Draw electronic dot structure of methane. Draw the electronic dot structure of methane. So CH4, this is how it should look. Okay. And so you have carbon. So these are electrons of the carbon. And these are of hydrogen, forming single bonds, these bonds. Okay. So this is the electronic dot structure of methane, CH4. Methane is CH4. Next, mention the two characteristic features seen in carbon. So one is catenation, the other one is tetravalency. Okay, there you go. Covalent compounds have low melting and boiling points. Give a reason. Question number 49. We can say the intermolecular forces of attraction are weak in covalent compounds, hence they have low melting point and boiling points. Question number 50. The uterus prepares itself every month to receive the fertilized egg. What is fertilization? Fusion of male and female gametes, that is referred to as fertilization. Then state 2 ways to prevent pregnancy: use of condoms, vasectomy, tubectomy. Why does general growth of human body become slow during puberty? Obviously, a lot of energy is devoted to this, so that is why the slowness. And see the actual answer. Because the resources of the body, which were directed to achieve body growth, are now partly directed to achieving the maturation of reproductive tissues. That is why the slowness in the growth. Okay. Question 53, it says, now this is a choice, 53, 54, 55, and there's another set. Look at the first set, observe the following diagram and answer the questions given below. Name the defect of the vision and state the lens to correct this defect. This has gone beyond the retina, so that is got to be hypometropia. Okay, that's the hypometropia. And it says state the lens, so that is convex lens. Question 54. State 2 causes of the above defect. So, focal length of the eye lens is too long. The eyeball has become too small. These are the two reasons. 55. Why does the sky appear black from the surface of the moon? Scattering of light is not prominent at high altitude, as there is no atmosphere on the moon. Okay. That is the reason. The next option, observe the following diagram and answer the questions given. Name the phenomenon and state the color of the spectrum that deviates the least. This is dispersion of light, and in the least scattered is red color. Then you have what is power of accommodation of the human eye? Ability of the eye lens to adjust to its focal length, that is called power of accommodation. Then your planets do not twinkle like stars. Why? Planets are much closer to Earth and seen as extended sources of light. The total variation in the amount of light entering from our eye from the planets average out to be 0. It has become 0. Hence, twinkling effect is nullified. That is why we don't find the planets twinkling. Okay? So that is the answer to this question. Next, we have a set of 3 question choices. Answer the following question. 56, first set. What is the principle of an electric motor? So we have over here, it uses electromagnetic induction to convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. That is for electric motor. Magnetic field lines inside the solenoid are in the form of parallel straight lines. What does it indicate? Answer is magnetic field is uniform inside the solenoid. Why is an electric fuse made of metal or an alloy having low melting point? Question number 58. Answer is a fuse works on the principle of heating effect of electric current. It melts when a stronger current than allowed limits or permissible limits flows through the circuit. Hence, it is made from a metal or an alloy having low melting point. Next set, state the principle of electric generator. The principle of an electric generator is based on electromagnetic induction. Mechanical energy is used to rotate a conductor in a magnetic field to produce electricity. Basically, mechanical energy is converted to electrical energy. That is the main principle, the idea behind working of a electrical generator. List 2 properties of magnetic field line. No two lines of force intersect each other. Magnetic field lines always point from a magnet's north pole to its south pole. There are others. You can write any 2. Why should a fuse of proper rating be used in electrical circuit? Answer: a safety fuse of proper rating prevents the circuit or any appliance from getting damaged due to overloading or short circuit. This is the answer. Question number 59. Draw a neat ray diagram to show the formation of an image by a convex lens when the object is placed at 2f1. So this would be for 2 marks. Okay, so here's a ray diagram. Object is placed at 2f1. Image is formed as 2f2. Okay, have a look. This is the figure that you need to draw. Question number 60. Write any two uses of a concave mirror. Written over here, it's used as shaving mirror, used by dentists, and even in solar furnace. 61. An object is placed perpendicular to the principal axis of a convex lens of focal length 8 cm. The distance of the object from the lens is 12 cm. Find the position and nature of the image. So, distance of the object is given as 12 centimeters. Is given object from the lens is 12 centimeters. So, it has got to be negative. We are given the focal length as 8 centimeters. This is of a convex lens. So, it's got to be positive. We are asked for, we don't know the distance of the image. So, we use the lens formula. 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. And to get the LCM over here, and we get 1 upon v is equal to 1 upon 24, which means reciprocal of that, v is equal to 24 centimeter. What is v? Distance of the image, okay, from the lens. That is positive 24 centimeters. So, positive 24 centimeters means image is real and inverted. Next, 62. Draw the diagram of the human excretory system and label urethra and urinary bladder. Here you go. The urethra is here, urinary bladder is here, and this is how you have to draw the excretory system for 2 marks. And next, what impurities are filtered from the blood by the kidneys? The answer is the nitrogenous impurities like urea and uric acid is filtered from the blood by the kidney. 64. Explain how blockage in the ureter would affect the process of excretion. Before I could show you the answer, just imagine. Ureters bring or transport the urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. Okay, now I'll show you this figure which you will be able to understand. See, these are the ureters, okay, and they are bringing the urine from the kidneys. Now, in this case, if let's say we have a blockage here, let's say there's a stone, it's come and it lodged itself here, okay, what do you think will happen? Urine will flow into the urinary bladder? No. Depending on how big the stone is. If the stone is too big to block full thing, then there's no urine that will pass through. If the stone is big but still has space allowing the urine to pass through, only a trickle will flow through. So every time, what will happen? As a result, there will be a backlog. Urine, let's say, consider this as a bag, okay, and in this bag there is urine which is filling up, okay, and when it reaches here, it flows through this, okay. Now, if it is not flowing, it will remain there, which means this will fill up, and as a result of which, what will happen? This kidney will expand, giving you trouble, pain, okay, and you will have more complications. At the same time, having the urine not removed out, the urine is waste, right? If you keep that, there will be bacterial formation as well, causing you infection, okay. That could happen, more things could happen, okay, because the urine is not being able to pass through. Plus, more and more force will be put on this particular stone. Movement of this stone will cause you problem for the ureters, which will give you a lot more pain, okay. So, all these things will happen. This is possible. So, now let's look at the actual answer. So the answer says the blockage in the ureter stops urine from flowing from the kidney to the bladder, causing the kidneys to swell and potentially get damaged. This can lead to sharp pain, less urine, and swelling in the body. Okay, that is the answer you have to give. Next, we have a choice. This is the last set of questions. There is a choice between 65, 66, 67, and there's another set. Let's begin. Do as directed. Draw a circuit diagram connecting three resistors R1, R2, R3 in parallel. We connect them with a battery, ammeter, and a plug key. Insert a voltmeter across the resistors. Show the direction of the current. I've done that. So this is in parallel. You have R1, R2, R3. Okay. And I've connected a voltmeter across the resistors. Okay. There's an ammeter also in the circuit with a plug key. This is the battery. This is showing the direction of flow of current. Okay. Here say positive to negative. And you have the resistors over here. Here also you can see the flow of current in this case. This way. Note this. Arrows are important. Okay. And also this signs over here and here as well, from positive to negative. Okay. Next, the potential difference between 2 points is 9 volts. So voltage is given. How much work is to be done in moving a charge of 4 coulombs across the 2 points? So the formula for that is V is equal to W upon Q. Okay. W is the work done and Q is the charge. We've been given potential difference 9 volt and we're given charge which is 4 coulomb. So we multiply V into Q and we'll get the work done which is 36 joule. 67. Why the electrical gadgets always connected in parallel circuits in house wiring? The reason for that is parallel circuits divide the current through the electrical gadgets. As a result, the total resistance is decreased. This enables the different gadgets to draw different currents depending on their resistances. Okay, so each appliance has its own requirement. Okay, for a toaster, the power, the current required is different from the current that is required by a fridge or a washing machine or a TV. Okay, giving the same amount of, if you give more current to somebody who requires less current, it will damage it. If you give less current to someone, an appliance which requires more current, then it will not function properly. Okay, so appropriate currents need to be supplied to the respective appliances. Next set, 2 is directed. Draw a circuit diagram connecting 3 resistors R1, R2, R3 in series. This was in parallel, this is in series. Connect them with a battery, ammeter and plug key. Insert a voltmeter across the resistors. Show the direction of the flow of current. Okay, so they have done that. R1, R2, R3. There's a voltmeter across the resistors. There's an ammeter in the circuit, plug key and the battery. Showing the flow of current from positive to negative. Okay, here also from positive to negative. See the markings, positive, negative. Here also, look, positive, negative. Okay, resistors are given R1, R2, R3. Okay, that is how you need to draw for 2 marks. A 60 watt electric bulb works on 240 volt main. Calculate the resistance of the bulb. Voltage is given, power is given, you have to find the resistance. Okay, so we have used this formula before. P is equal to V upon I can be replaced with V upon R, so P is equal to V square upon R. Now, power is given, which is 60 volts, okay, and voltage is given as 240 volts. Okay, resistance we have to find out. We can write this as R is equal to V square upon P. V square V is 240, so V square is 240 into 240, and R, that is the resistance, we have been given as 60, this is power, 60 watts. So 60 into 4 gives us 240, so that cancels out. 240 into 4 gives us 960, and this is ohms because we are looking to find resistance. So that is the answer for 1 more. Why is the series arrangement not used for domestic circuits? So if one component or appliance fails, the whole circuit will be broken. That is why we don't use series appliances. As told for in the previous question, that for we use parallel because individual appliances require individual currents. Okay, so if you apply just one across everything else, and if the circuit breaks because they are in series, then all the appliances fail. Okay, we should not have. So if you want to switch off the fan, everything else in the house should not be switched off. If you don't want the TV, only the TV should be off, not the fridge, the washing machine, other lights or fans or air conditioner in the house. Okay, so that is the answer. So with this, we finish with the 10th standard prelims paper, science prelims paper that was recently held. Okay, I hope all your questions are answered in this thing. If you like watching the video, please hit the like button. Share this video with your friends as well as your classmates. Also, if you have any queries or questions you would like to message me, then you just mention it in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, so there will be more videos coming up. Many of you all are requesting videos. Right? If time permits, I will do as many videos as possible and respond to your queries. I can't promise anything, but I'll try to do as many videos as possible to help you out for your upcoming examinations. Okay, so please do subscribe and hit the bell icon, so whenever a new video is posted, you'll get notified for it. Also, there's a WhatsApp channel. The link to that is in the description box below. So any videos with respect to fundamentals of science or even maths will be put up over there, and you can follow that channel as well. Okay, so thank you very much for watching the video, and see you in the next video. Thank you.